Hello, and welcome to Without Judgment, the podcast where we dive into how to be happier at work, asking better questions, daring to be yourself, and gaining clarity on what you want and how to approach it in the best way for you in this season of your life. I'm Virginie, your host, and I support career changers and young professionals unearth clarity, cultivate confidence, and unlock their unique potential. I believe that your career should be more than just a paycheck. So in every episode, I'll bring you new insights about life coaching and how it can help you navigate your professional life and reach your goals that you set for yourself. So hold my hand and let's go. Hello everyone! Today, we are going to talk about your professional relationship and what impact it has on your happiness at work. So first, I want to tell you a little bit about why relationships, even professional relationships, are so important. And I think this is especially relevant for those of you listening who are thinking about a career change. So, because we're human, a lot of our experience has to do with the way that we interact with each other. I don't know if you've heard the term that we are social animals, but there is a reason that so many people are saying that. It does impact how we feel overall. The way that we interact with each other impacts our mood, impacts our energy levels, and there has been a lot of coaches and also neuroscientists that have researched this topic around how people succeed and even their depression levels, because the way we think about the situation we are in impacts all the results that we get. And since we are working with other human beings, it is helpful to try and stay in a neutral space and not try and control what is not in our control. If you see what I mean, you can't really expect people to behave in a certain way in front of you, but you can expect you to behave in the way that you want to behave. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. For example, why do you think that networking is so important when people are looking for a job? Well, it's because when we interact with each other, we leave an impression that is so much more impactful than just words on paper. And the same is true when you think about your work relationship. When you are at work, you work with people and you work for people. Whether you think about your client, your team, your colleagues, or your manager, it's a lot of human interaction. And the better you are at having good relationship and at nurturing them, the better you're going to feel. So what does it mean? If you can imagine what is your definition of a good relationship, a good work relationship, I can see that there is probably some clear expectations on both hands. There is a good and effective communication, and all parties are respectful of each other. You can have other criteria, but I think it's important for you to define that for yourself and to see how positive relationship can lead to more job satisfaction, more productivity, and the career that you wish for. Because when you think of someone that you've loved working with and you compare that to someone you've really hated working with, that might help you define what those behaviors are. Because the main difference is going to be, I cannot hear you say, oh, well, it's because they were acting in a certain way, or because they were having this attitude or that behavior, and that made me feel a certain way, or that made me think I was maybe not as competent, or maybe I felt like I was not given enough responsibilities, or whatever your thought is going to be. You have to realize that this is your interpretation of this situation. This is not just the facts of the situation, And I really want to invite you to jot down all the thoughts that you're having when you think about those best and worst relationships that you've had over your, I don't know, however many years of working, because that's going to help you define how you want to show up. Because you can't control how the person in front of you is going to act, but you can control how you are going to react. So focus on you. That's my first advice. Then, about building strong relationship, I wanted to give you a couple of practical tips for developing those good relationships and nurturing them. So, I know a lot of people hate networking, but there are some really cool strategies, and you can think of fun ways to attend either online or offline events and be curious. If you want to meet some professional in the field that you are in right now or in the field that you are interested in, maybe joining, those are great great opportunities to just be curious and, listen to people hearing about why they love what they're doing. People love to talk about what they're doing when they like what they're doing. So it's a great opportunity and it can be actually pretty fun. Another idea that I had regarding networking is that you can look for professional organization or even online communities in your field, and you can listen, read about, and see what's in it for you. Another platform like LinkedIn might be especially useful if you want to connect with some people and really have some meaningful conversation, or ask your question if you don't have the time, or if the people in that field are not maybe in your geographical area. That's another option. And finally, I want to remind you that you can offer some help to others in your network by sharing what you know, sharing your resources, maybe sharing some advice, or even making introductions for others. And that will be of value to people that can return that favor. After that, I want you to think about, when building relationship, like what is going to be the best kind of communication skills that you can use. For example, being very clear and concise in your communication, having an active listening, really paying attention to the person in front of you, avoid interrupting them, of course, and just be genuinely interested, like reflect on what they've said before you respond to what they are talking about, or ask a question if you need to clarify something to really understand what they're telling you. Finally, building a rapport of trust is really important. So you can have those great communication skills and active listening especially, but also in the action that you take in the relationship that you already have in your professional life. Think about being respectful of people's time around you, whether it's asking for a call to get to know more about a certain industry, or whether it is about a colleague that's helping you out to learn some specific skill that you may not be fully confident in at the moment. Also respect their boundaries. Like, just think about what your boundaries are and your time and how valuable that is to you. It's the same for other people around you. So be mindful of all of that when you interact with people, and especially at work. Also, be reliable and follow through on your commitments. If you say yes to something, realize that that means probably saying no to something else, because we all have 24 hours in a day, and that means making some tough choices sometimes. So what matters most at the moment? What do you prioritize? And be clear about that, so you can really focus on the person that you're talking to and show interest and really be respectful. And then you can expect the same in return. Finally, I want to point out to be open to feedback, because you don't know. I mean, people, we're all humans. We all have good days, bad days, and you don't know what their circumstance might be. And don't make it about you. Be open to the feedback that they're giving you, and don't have too much mind drama around what they might tell you. Just be willing to hear that feedback and take what you feel there is to take for you. Another strategy to build good relationship and to nurture them is to find what you have in common. Maybe you have some shared interest, or maybe you're working on the same project and you have the same goal. Maybe you attend the same school. Try to find some commonalities. That's always helpful to build those relationships. And then if you're thinking about your current team, don't forget to celebrate successes, either because you're part of a team or because you're the manager. It's really important to feel like you're part of something together at work. That usually boosts your happiness and the people around you as well. So that's really a great thing to do. And if you have a weekly meeting, that's a great way to have everybody share a win, for example. Another idea that I wanted to touch on, even though that's not the main topic of that podcast today, it's about how to overcome challenges in professional relationship, like maybe having a conflict or disagreement, having some miscommunication, or feeling like you can't trust someone or they don't trust you. Try and identify what are the possible challenges when you go into a meeting, when you go and work on a team project. Try and see how you can show up as your best self in the way that you want to be clear, you want to have good communication, you want to be a good listener, and be mindful that other people around you might not be. And what are you going to do? Like, how do you want to react if that happens? Like, maybe being curious and asking clarifying questions. If you feel like there is some miscommunication around conflict and disagreement, it really varies depending on your role. But always feel free to kind of take a break, like take a breath, and remember that most of the time it's not about you. The way people react is all about them and the way that they are thinking about that situation. All right, I hope that was helpful, and I want to wish you a great rest of your day and an amazing weekend. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you and talk to you very soon. Bye. If you found this interesting today and would like to dive deeper, I invite you to book a free 30-minute mini session with me on the website at without-judgment-coaching.com. Again, that's without-judgment-coaching.com. I can't wait to meet you. Talk to you next month. Bye.